Hey guys, this is Kirop speaking, and today I have the pleasure and displeasure of showing you the first pre-alpha build of Unreal version automation. And that is very risky to do, especially in these early stages of porting something, because as you can see it is butt ugly, and when we say, yes, we are changing our game engine to something which will look really nice, and then this comes out, then people question your competence. And while we definitely are incompetent in some areas, this is natural. And that is natural because currently we are implementing functionality and not prettiness. And this is a massive disclaimer right here. What you're going to see is far from finished and probably looks pretty shit compared to what it will be in the finished version, and the finished version will probably be quite a bit different too. And the main menu would be an excellent example. This is not a good main menu, as you can see, but there are a few things in there. So let's start out and just talk about the graphics in general. One thing which already is in here in the graphics settings, also butt ugly, is settings you can change on the fly. Right now everything is set to epic. I don't have a really good computer, it's decent, nothing special though. And it runs the game, what you're seeing on epic settings, whatever that means. It's looking pretty good, and it runs it at 60 FPS all the time through. It's capped at 60, I don't know how fast it would run otherwise. So that of course doesn't change when you make it a grainy mess. It also runs in 60, and you can change it live. Now it looks like Duke Nukem 3D from back in the days. Or maybe I have a bit of too much rosy goggles on when I say that. Anyway, let's switch back to the epic settings. And there are many visual effects in here which which will change a lot. It looks kind of like Oblivion with so much bloom everywhere. I hate it. I hate bloom. It's so unrealistic. Although used in moderation, it can be really nice too. So yeah, that's one of the many things. And also, well, you see, what is this? Why? Where are we? Where are we? We are in the Dino control room. What the hell? The Dino control room? That's amazing. So you can see the Dino over there. Yep, right there. And let's save these settings. And let's go into free roam. Now, is it loading? Yes. Okay, so now we are in the Dino room, and now my frame rate is for some reason kept at 30? 60? Okay, that was just Fraps doing that. Alright, very nice. So here we have our Dino control room, and let's get moving! We can fly around and take a look at the Dino. There's nothing on there right now, and someone didn't clean there. Anyway, so we can move around and have a look-see, and as you can see, it does definitely look better than the key engine does. We do have shadows. The magical thing that is shadows. They improve the looks of anything really a lot, because it just looks a bit more realistic. Anyway, so let's move around here. So that's our Dino room. There's our Dino control room. Here we have some office space, which probably is really poorly located, because having the V12 running next door with race exhausts isn't conducive to thinking. And then we have our engineering room, and here you can see, oh, as you can see, the visual effects are not quite working. This is a V6 block, which is completely black, and there's some stuff lying around here. What is this? What the hell? It's a cut-off cylinder stuff from a V6. And here we have inline 4 blocks lying around. And a crank. That's a V6 crank. Yeah, it is. Anyway, so there's lots of detail in here. Much more to be added. This is far from being finished. So let's just move through here and go, whoo! Look-see! This is where you design your cars. And over here we have some clay models and just small scale stuff. And over here we have a chassis, a proper one, and it's painted. Look at how nice the material looks. And this is all just using the assets from original automation, for the most part. Some are adapted and so on, but for the most part this is just using the old stuff. And yeah, as you can see, the engine is just so much more up to modern standards than compared to our key engine. Anyway, so this is all looking nice, and now you have a kind of consistent area where you move in between different designs. It's all in the same building. This will be part of your HQ building in the Tycoon part. There will be one HQ you have in the world from where you design all your cars for all your brands, and yes, for all your brands, I said that. So you will be able to have several brands under the umbrella company which you lead. Anyway, so this is the free roam, but then that is not part of the game. Well, the locations are, but it's not really part of the game, as in there is no gameplay in here. So let's take a look at the gameplay, and I think I just have to press Q, and we should be back in the main menu. Let's see if that works. Yes. Okay, so let's go into Sandbox. The only thing... Oh, yeah, right. The lists are already working. This is still very much not finished. But the lists are kind of working already. And we can just revise an existing engine, which I built in the current public version of the game. So it is compatible because we are just using the same Lua code. And now you cringe because that means all the same Lua errors. Yes, it does mean all the same Lua errors, but many of these Lua errors come from inconsistencies in the underlying structure of the code, which have been changed for the Unreal version, or will be changed for the Unreal version. Like getting rid of all our old design sins which we committed and never got rid of, because that would entail breaking the game horribly and not giving you an update for much more than 3 months. Anyway, so now let us make a new engine family. The only engine type that currently is in the Unreal version is the V6s. And this first page here is the first draft of the new UI. And as you can see, it's much brighter and friendlier than the current UI, and it's partially working already, apart from these sliders here. These bugs have already been fixed, but anyway. So, look, we have a little V6 sitting here. And is there... Why? Oh, that is too bad. I will have to load in other engines later to see if we can get this one to appear over there and on these stalls over there. And that is something you will... It is just for immersions, really nice thing which we have here, that the engines, the previous engines, the engine designs you have, they will actually be around, and you will be able to like go there by clicking on them and just take a look. So they will be around and it will be all fancy looking and stuff. As you can see, sparkly, that is also a bug. Like I said, the visuals are not done in the slightest, but you can already see that overall, like with this motion blur going on and stuff, it's looking nice. Anyway, let's build a standard dual overhead cam engine, and we have... Oh, does the visibility work? Yes, sliding it does work. And as you can see, all the bloom. Oh, and you can see it also has this this automatic dynamic range thing, so if something is really bright in your vision, it darkens the rest. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Where are the pistons? Well, I haven't chosen any pistons, so they're not here. So this is not done UI. The first tab here is the only one which has scaled correctly fields. And yeah, well, it's not really working that much, but live scaling and stuff is working. Almost. Slider still. Oh, is wigging out, as you can see. And another thing is you can now also like type things in here. So if we want to go for 86 and 806, it completely ignores them right now, but that's also already been fixed. But you see, this is, apart from everything being so freaking dark, it does look pretty good. And yeah, that's kind of nice. Anyway, I'm rambling, as I always am. So let's go through here, ignore these bugs and all this weird stuff which isn't working. VVT and naturally aspirated and injection, and this is all not scaled, as you can see. Like the UI is, these pages are not done at all, and as you can see also the timeline isn't working yet, and nothing is really working. But nonetheless, we just go through here, and I want to show you some of the new features. If I change this and no exhausts, or let's put on reverse flow. Alright, so testing page. What is going on the testing page? Well, as you can see, this bench definitely isn't done yet, but the graphs are something which we want to put a lot of effort into to make them better. And one of these improvements we are planning on is making them more interactive, so that you can just mouse over them to see specific spots and get more information, but also like change, and here you will notice that power and torque are exchanged. That doesn't make much sense. The red line should be power and read kilowatts, and the blue line should be torque and read Newton meters. But in general, you see what's going on here. So we have these interactive hover over feature, and then when you leave it, it just resets to the maximum, the respective maximum. But also, what is really cool with this is if you now go in here, you get a drop down of all your engines, and you can compare them to something else. Like let's go to the inline 4 and see what it does. The race version of this one. Yeah, let's compare it to the i4 1100 race. We click compare, and you get both engines loaded into your engine designer. And you can see the direct comparison. Here, this is your comparison engine, and this is the engine you're currently working on, and you can see from the coloring which one currently is working better in the various aspects. And yeah, that's also kind of neat. This is all, of course, not finished, and there might be quite a few changes to the visuals of it, but overall I think the functionality is pretty neat. And now, let's say we want to change the engine and just look... Oh, well, first we kill the comparison, like this. And now we want to look at another engine. And from the old discussion of the new UI, I presented to you the grid-based selection method for various engines and cars. And this has already been implemented in its first draft here. So if you want to change the engine, you see you only have two buttons up here, and you see the family and the variant and the respective year they were designed in. But if you press the button up here, you get the full grid view of all your engines, and the coloring up here, which currently is gray because it hasn't been implemented yet and it has nothing to go on. It represents the current state of the engine, if it's in production, if it's in design, if it's in engineering, or if it's discontinued. And right now everything has the color of discontinued, which of course is very little color overall, very gray. So if we now go and edit this one, for example, we have no graphics for the inline fours yet, so you will just see the old model there, and yeah, that doesn't really help. But if we now make the, again, a comparison, now we have just this model. This will be so handy for you making different variants. You could just keep the old model in as a comparison and then tune from there. So let's see, let's go with the race, and you can see like this is your base version, the lower one here, and then the race version really kicks in there, and you have all the stat difference up here. And this will work the same way for cars. There is no car designer in this version of automation yet. We're working on that, but first we have to get some things done before then. And yes, while I'm showing you this, of course, in normal gameplay, you will have families with a lot more members, because otherwise you're using your engineering team and factories inefficiently. So this long list of things probably won't happen, like one item stuff. It's more likely to look like this family. Also, it's when there are more here, this is a 2D scrolly thing. So you can scroll it by just grabbing it too. And that makes it a bit touch compatible too. Not sure if we ever want to go there, but if tablets in the future become really powerful, then that might be an option. So this is like very future-proof in that sense. And also what I need to show you, you maybe have noticed there is a little filter button up here. Yes, really ugly right now, but it's working. So if you are trying to find an engine, you can just go and like, yeah, I'm only looking for inline 4 engines, and let's see, and naturally aspirated ones, and they are not using carburetors. Alright, like this. And you will get the updated filtered list here, and it will be sorted by year by default. And if you want to see engines which are like discontinued, they will be on the bottom, and current production engines or currently in design engines will appear towards the top. So all very handy, all very handy. And of course another thing is, let's see, ordering. And I think it is in there. You can, oh no, you can just change what is shown there. But this one up here, which currently is hidden by the frame rate number, at least for me it is. I think this is appearing in the video too. But there you can choose what is shown in these fields, and like the top number. Currently, I think it is weight, and if we want to show power, then we can do so. And then we could order it by power, or order it the other way by power. And yeah, that's all already working. In principle, it just needs to be more pretty and yeah, fine-tuned for proper handling and looks and so on, as this looks pretty dull right now. Okay, so that is that. Just generally, what is the current time frame on this? Well, we are trying to get as much as possible into the Unreal version right now, and that means you won't be able to see anything really new in the key engine version of automation for quite a while. Like we promised, there will be inline 3 engines coming in the next update, and front-wheel drive longitudinal, but those were pretty quick things to do. As you did see in the last little dev update, those are basically already done. And that seems very little content, but we are making the campaign mode, like the rough first pseudo-campaign mode, and so to keep you busy. And we, in the meantime, don't want to invest too much time into making new assets for the old engine, because those have to be ported over. So the time frame, again, is that we want to get as many assets shipped over to the Unreal version as possible, while Isaac, who's the main programmer on our team to make this version, he's porting this basically by himself with help from Casual, our main programmer, our lead programmer. And we are aiming to get this done towards the end of the year. And that would be the big update after the next big update. That means around 6 months, 7 months from now. Or, well, 6.5 or something. And Really scary stuff, because once we try to go there, there is no stepping back. We can't invest like 3 months of time getting the Unreal version done, and then if we then can't release it because it's not quite done yet, then we can't just port everything over to the key engine and release that. At some point we have to do this step, because this like scary step, because every month we spend on maintaining the old key engine version means maintaining the horrible, somewhat flawed base structure of the version, which is based on the key engine, our own engine. And that is, for the first part, not fun and very frustrating, because some problems just cannot be fixed. Some bugs in there are unfixable because of inherent design problems, which have carried over from like 5 years ago. And it will be so good to finally get rid of all this mess and get this version properly designed from scratch running. And overall, working with this version is so much easier, also because of the tool chain of Unreal, which is really good in comparison to what we have. So yeah, that is basically the very first look. Take everything you have seen here with a big label of preliminary, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this first look at this very rough pre-alpha version, and talk to you next time. Cheers, guys.